Hey everyone, let's talk about using apps and just using the front display here on the 2024 Motorola Razr Plus. So I just want to go through a few different things here. First is this is now a 4-inch beautiful display. This thing is actually quite usable if you want to use it without opening up to the 6.9-inch display. First, you can do a camera if you want. Of course, it'll be facing towards you since there's no camera on the back of it. And let's get on out of that. So you can do that. You can basically do anything on this outer display that you can do on the inner display. And you have all your settings and stuff here as well. You have your messaging. Of course, you can add in pretty much any app that's on your phone onto this outer display, which is quite nice. So like you can do YouTube.
Whoever thought of this is a genius.
And this works somewhat decent. As you can see, if you're in full display mode, it cuts off your bottom menu there. So you have to hit that, hit default view, then you get your bottom menu there again. And then you can do basically anything you want to do. One weird thing about this, though, is sometimes it will cut off like parts of like the top of the videos. So you might be watching somebody talk about something and like their head will just be missing, basically. Otherwise, it does work pretty well, though. We can do like Chrome on here. So you can search for things just like you would on the inner display, of course. Again, though, if you're in the full display, it does cut off your bottom options here. So again, you can go into default mode, which then makes your display quite a bit smaller, but then you do have your full options. We'll just go back into full display. Let's go ahead and hit the Black Friday stuff there. And I will say, like I said in the beginning, this outer display is actually very, very nice looking as well, just like the inner display is. Go ahead here and we'll hit this TV. And again, it's just like browsing on the inner display. It's just a lot smaller. But like I said, this 4-inch display is actually pretty usable. It's better than other foldables that are out there. It's better than the last generation. And of course, it's better than the regular Razr, which I believe is a 3.6-inch display. And again, it's all actually rather usable. Like really, not too many issues except for, again, the bottom does get cut off because of your cameras there. Go ahead and get out of that. Let's go ahead and do some Roblox here. So let's go on to find Arsenal. Again, your bottom is somewhat cut off. So this is in, I think it's just automatic graphics. Oh no, all the way up graphics. Go ahead and hit deploy. Deploy. The FPS is around 60. And again, it is actually somewhat usable. Again, your buttons are somewhat cut off, but this shoot button is just so big that it doesn't really matter. You see I'm shooting off these snowball things, golf balls, whatever these are. And it's really no big issue. I mean, it actually works. I said 60 frames per second, going down to in the mid 40s. But again, it does work pretty well. Thought I was upside down for a second there. You can still jump, still the reload, sort of. The shoot button is so big I can't actually, or the switch, I mean, it's very hard to hit the switch. But of course, you can go to the inner display and actually play a bit easier if you want to do that. Let's swipe that up. You can go on to Facebook and browse through Facebook or other social medias. And it works very well. Go on the marketplace. Search through the stuff. The pictures take up the entire display at first, but again, it's actually really usable of a display. Just sometimes, like I said, the bottom does get taken up by your cameras, so you have to go into the default mode. Rolling metals, those are always cool phones. The first time you go to use an app on the outer display, it will ask you to open it, to allow it to open it up on the external display. You can allow, not allow, or not now. Go ahead and hit that for Gmail. So here's just a random email from Adobe that I never actually read. Again, this is in full screen mode, and you can also go into default mode. Again, I mean, like, everything is super readable. Everything is nice and colorful. Like, it works very well. Then of course you have like camera. Go ahead and hit full screen. Then of course some of it will get messed up, so that one you'll probably keep in default mode. Then it just works. So some things will not work. So like for instance, again, if you want your camera, it'll be facing towards you. Of course, you have to open it up to get from behind you, or you have to turn it like this, and you can't see the screen. Some things like fetch will not work because it is, the camera is facing towards you again. This you have to do full screen mode unless you want to take a picture of yourself. But I don't think fetch will accept that. And even games like Monster Hunter now will work. You can see like the frame rate on this phone for this game is a little bit weird. You can see there it's just a little bit, the frame rate just kind of drops on this phone with this game. Let's see. Go ahead and hit one of these guys. It's a little bit better with the inner display. It's just quite a bit better. But there are times where it still has some frame rate issues with Monster Hunter now. But you can play on either display if you want to. And it works again very well. So all in all, this outer display at 4 inches, very nice panel that's on it. It is very much usable, I would say, with almost every app out there. There are some apps where you're going to have to keep it in default mode, so you only get the little bit screen instead of the big one. And then some apps where you need to use a camera facing that way, not towards you, it's not going to work quite as well either. But all in all, I really do like this phone. It's just a very cool phone. It does have some weirdness to it, but for the most part, very cool phone. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. Hope y'all have a good one. Goodbye.